Today we will be conducting our weekly analysis as we usually do on Sundays. You all know or should know by now that we always go to the economic calendar before we go to anything else, before we even look at charts, right? The economic calendar is the base of all of our analysis, right? This is where we will see the major turning points, which day they will happen, which hour they will happen, and which minute they might happen, right? So this always frames the week, the economic calendar, right? I'm probably going to be saying that for the next 3 months. So get used to it, right? I just have to instill this in your minds. So today, as you guys can see, we have the Fed Chair Powell speaking at 7 p.m. on a Sunday. That's not normal, man. So they're looking to engineer liquidity on a Sunday at 7 p.m. Literally in like less than an hour, right? So currently, obviously, we don't trade Sundays, so I'll be waiting for this to pass, right, to see if it gives us any structure to work with. And then tomorrow at 10 a.m., which I believe will be tradable, we have another high impact news event, right, in Q3 of Q3 on a Monday, right? So they hired a low of the week. For now, it could even form like tomorrow, right? And then for sure we'll get a reversal on Thursday, right? So during these events, right, we still see some price action that we can, ride along the wave. Thursday, we have unemployment claims, high impact news event at 8:30, right? We have impact news events at 8:30. So on Tuesday, we have no news events. Wednesday, no events. If there isn't a red news folder for the US dollar, right? News in regard to the US dollar, then I'm not going to pay attention to it, right? Low of the week, high of the week, usually forms whenever you have a high impact news event, right? For the dollar, nothing else. Across all asset classes, right? So this week, sure, right? We can be looking for the sequential SMT to be forming, right? On Wednesday for some asset classes, on Thursday for the other. So yeah, we can probably catch a good move on Thursday and Wednesday, right? Thursday or Wednesday. So the market just opened up. The market just opened up and we are reaching for the buy side liquidity here, which we were basically talking about for almost 2 weeks now, right? As you can see, we've been in consolidation and I still don't think over it because I haven't seen a reason for price to, reach for here yet. I'd like to see price either fall back within this range and create. So we've been talking about the buy side liquidity above this high for I'd say over 2 weeks now, right? And we finally have price reaching for it right now, which is not good in my opinion due to the fact that we've just been chopping around for the past few weeks, right? And I saw no way to get in sync with this, right? And right now we're in very extremely low probability conditions, and you'll see what I mean by that when we start talking about the ES and NQ and the Dow, right? So right now, the drawn liquidity is obviously here, right? We've been talking about this for a while. I'm not sure what Powell will do in the next 45 minutes if we're going to run above it and drop, but we will see, right? I'm not going to try to talk on that right now because this was an unforeseeable event, right? We don't usually have news events just as the market opens, right? An hour after the market opens. That's not normal. So for now, we need to see structure, right? We need to see SMT or sequential SMT, right? Something that gives us a reason to be in the market, right? Something that gives us a reason to press a button. Right now, there's nothing to do really, but wait until price gives us proper structure. Long-term drawn liquidity above these highs right here, right? Bullish on the US dollar, but I need to see something, right, to work with. Either price falls within this range and create some equal lows, run below them, or price falls below this low, and then we could be looking for higher prices. And now the euro dollar. I remember before last week we talked about this fair value gap right here, right? That we would like to see price go into it and then fall. The drawn liquidity is below this low right here, right? Drawn liquidity is below this low right here. So we haven't been having the best price action. A lot of chop. And this is probably one of the worst I've ever seen, to be honest. Even worse than down here. Right, so we had price leaving the fair value gap and then returning to it and falling, returning to it, just creating a very, very choppy marketplace, right? And currently nothing to do in regards to Forex, right? In regards to the Forex markets. Nothing to really do right now. Really, right now we need displacement, we need to see a fair value gap. Or we need price to run above low, the daily low, right? Not this one. Either this one or this one. But for now, there's nothing to really do. And with the volatility that we have this week, we might see something like that happen, right? So these conditions, you see, if when price was trading into this, we could look for a short, right? Even when this candle closed the gap entirely here and fell, that was a short, right? If we were on the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame, we could get trade with this. When price trade above this high and dipped into this fair value gap again and fell, this was a trade again, right? But currently there's nothing to really do. But wait for price to either break above this high or go below this low. During the week, I'll updating you guys with charts whenever I see something that's high probability. I will not be giving you guys information on anything that is low probability, right? I will not be doing that. GUSD, garbage. Looks like garbage right now, right? Look at this. Nothing to do. If price breaks below here, we could probably expect it to return to this range, right? Just to get a small buy, right? But I'm not bearish on GBP, USD, or EU. I'm bearish on them, right? So if price even takes out a high, I'll be looking to short. And I mean like short go all the way down. I'm not talking about just a single candle like this size, no. So nothing to do in regards to Forex right now, right? Low probability conditions that we just did, and we just wait until the market shows us something. Now we'll go to yes, where we can see some better price action. So we have price taking out this high right here, and now currently we have a swing high. I'll see what happens at 7 p.m. whenever we have that news release, right? So if price breaks below this fair value gap and even breaks below this low, then that could be a shift in market structure, right? And we could be expecting price to go to this low right here. But at the moment, I need to see price break below, close below here, and break below here before I can consider something, right? Before I can consider a setup. Currently, we're in no man's land. There's no high time frame periods above here, right? It is week 1 of the month. So we should not be expecting the best price action right now. The best price action usually forms in week 2 and week 3, sometime week 4, but never in week 1, right? So we have liquidity below this low, immense liquidity below this low, a lot below this low, right? So if the market gets and breaks below this low, then that's telling, right? Then we can expect price to go towards this gap and eventually breach these lows right here, then go in and fill this fair value gap, right? But for now, we just have to wait. So that's what I'm looking at right now in regard to the S&P 500 futures, right? In NQ, you guys can see that we currently have SMT between ES and NQ, right? ES took out its high right here, but NQ failed to do so, right? So currently we're still in a situation that we have to wait. This isn't like last week, right? Or the week before, or the one before that, where I could be telling you guys, where it will go. Now it's just, we have to wait because we could run out this high, or we could just continue to fall, right? And if we continue to fall or just expand downwards on Monday, we could expect something like this, right? If this is Monday, then we could just expect Tuesday to go above 25% of the range that is formed, right? And then continue to go back down, right? Sorry about that. We do not need, if we have Q1 just drop or just expand higher, we don't need price in Q2 to go above or below it. We just need to return to the range that it formed. As long as it went above the true open in Q2, then that is manipulation right there, right? So if we see price push above here, then we could be looking for, market structure shift. But for now, we just need price to break below this low. Once that happens, or close below this fair value gap, then we could be looking for lower prices. These are in my eyesight right now, right? These lows right here. You see the bodies, like disregard the wicks. Look at the bodies, how they closed, how close they are, right? Basically, these are equal lows right here. If you don't pay attention to the wicks, right? I pay attention to the bodies more than I pay attention to the wicks. The bodies tell the story, right? The bodies are way more important than the wicks. Wicks are gaps. So for now, we're just going to wait. And I will have to update you guys on Monday, either Monday in the morning or after the news event tomorrow. Dow Jones, we have a swing high forming right here, right? If we see Monday being weak, right, we can expect price to go below this low and ultimately this one. But for now, there's no reason for me to press a button, right? If price breaks below the 50% of this candle right here, digs into it, then I would consider this to be a breaker. Right here. Right? What's a breaker? Everyone, all of you should know what a breaker is, right? The last down close candle before price ran liquidity, right? But this only becomes valid if price breaks below the 50% of the candle, right? Which is around here. And Bitcoin, so we have liquidity above this high, and we have a imbalance right here, right? The best scenario for me would be this, right? I'm not bullish on Bitcoin at all, but this would be the best scenario for me. But we can see price just fall. Of course, that we can do that, but like I would not take that trade. That it would just fall without me, right? So for me, this would be the best scenario. At least run above here and fall back into this gap. If this happens again, man, it'll be crazy. That'll be like a month of accuracy, which is insane. Ethereum, not bullish at all on Ethereum. Yeah, I already had this low drill for a long time. So we have liquidity here, here, here. Definitely not bullish on Ethereum. So I'm not sure if this high will be taken out due to the fact that we closed this weekly fair value gap entirely. But ultimately, the drawn liquidity, at least here, but we could be seeing triple digits, right? Those who like XRP. We have a balanced price range right here. You can see this gap, right? So for if you like trading XRP, you could like short right here in the daily time frame if price touches it, right? And probably just we have this high right here inside of it. So this would at least be good for at least a short-term trade, right? And you're getting sync on your lower time frames and whatnot. Gold. I like to see some better price action for gold, but ultimately I'm not bullish on gold at all. So I like to see what this week brings. We have this wick right here. I straight into, remember the wicks are gaps, right? Currently, very low probability conditions. Very low probability conditions right now. We have price consolidating right here. And we need to see price either trade above a high, like here or here, and then create displacement and take out the low, right? We can't just go in and just press buttons for the sake of it, right? We need to see SMT. If you're trading gold, you need to see SMT between gold and either silver or the US dollar, right? Without SMT, we don't move. And if you do exactly what I'm telling you, just trade with SMT, you will see a lot of improvement in your accuracy, right? So over the course of this month, I will be giving you guys the other sequential SMTs, which are there. Some of you might have found out what they are, right? And that's good. I see some of you texting in the community chat asking questions, and most of you are right, but I can't just be talking about something else while everyone does not understand what the base of the knowledge is, right? So for now, we do not have anything high probability to work with. Nothing high probability to work with at the moment. I'll have to come back to you guys over the week, right? So tomorrow, I will be back here to update you guys in regard to the markets. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow after the news event has been released. Have a great night.